2017 had some of the best movies. Blade Runner, Spider-Man Homecoming, Star Wars The Last Jedi, which I will positively review soon because it was so divisive. Let's get into what's not that bad about it. Guys, welcome to It's Not That Bad, a show where I take negatively reviewed movies or generally hated movies and put a positive spin, a positive review on it. What you're seeing now, I saw one of the reviews for it, and I have to say, it's more than watchable. It is enjoyable. I enjoyed Power Rangers. You can quote me on that. It was not that bad. And there are some redeeming qualities about this movie. It's obviously a more serious take on Power Rangers, and that's okay. Power Rangers back then was a little bit over the top. I'd say silly, obviously, for children. It was gonna be a franchise, but it never was. This movie was about to like reboot the franchise, but never came to pass. But you know, I still enjoyed the movie in itself, if I'm being completely honest. Elizabeth Banks as the villain is all. Yeah, you know what? I'll let you decide that. I don't know if that's a plus or a minus. She's great actress. It's not like the actors were doing dorky poses and really accentuating their movement with whatever martial art they were doing. But it felt a little more grounded, a little more real. I mean, these guys are in high school. They're trying to find themselves. It's like a coming of age film as well. It's all about these teenagers learning a lot more, even though they look older than they actually are. One of those realistic teenage moments was when Naomi Scott actually, had that little beginning scene where she kind of cut off her hair, which is a metaphor because in the scene she actually gets like cut off from her friend group. They are like, "Oh no, like you're being cut off now because you did this thing," and she like literally cuts her hair. That's a very teenagery thing to do. Very metaphorical. I think I can definitely relate with that on a personal level because a lot of teenagers now are very metaphorical. You're still trying to find yourself. I'm not big into apparent product placement, but Krispy Kreme. Okay, Krispy Kreme probably had the best. I mean, it was the most apparent product placement here, but they also referred to it somewhere in the movie as the source of all life. Loved it. I'm a big fan of Krispy Kreme. If you haven't had it for a while, it's good. It's creamy. It's delicious, and it it's very doughy, but not too. It's very light and fluffy too. Krispy Kreme gets my endorsement any day. There are obviously like other bad apparent product placements in movies. This wasn't one of them. Okay, the small town vibes are real in this movie because there is no way that one person dies in this town and everyone goes to this person's funeral. Literally, you can see a huge crowd of people at this funeral. And is that real? I mean, I haven't grown up in a small town like that, but do people do that? I don't know. Though it seems unrealistic. Great show of character for some people. I don't know how to say this person's name. I really should have looked it up beforehand. But Daker, you know what? I'm gonna look it up right now. Daker, like kind of like Baker. It's Dacre Montgomery. Anyways, Dacre Montgomery, a great choice to play the Red Ranger because not only was he charismatic, he was actually a decent leader. He cared about each of his teammates. I mean, not all of them seem to. Each of his friends now. I mean, sure, he made some he made some poor choices in the beginning of the movie that kind of sets up the movie for what his choices will be and what he truly cares about. He doesn't want to rat anyone out. He takes the fall for everything, but responsible. You can tell that he's responsible in this movie, and I really think that's a decent character development. He more than cared for the group. He led the group how can you hate him in this movie? I actually don't think I saw any bad reviews about his character, but I also really like him in Stranger Things. He's a very well-rounded actor. I never knew he could play such a charismatic, commanding person in this film. I, I I truly did enjoy that portion of it. There are things that I am sarcastic about, but this isn't one of them. I believe it's always best in movies when you kill off like a really likable character, and I liked how they did that with the Blue Power Ranger. A little sad that they did bring him back to life, but I get that was for the plot and story. But um, enjoyable in itself. The nostalgia really hit when they said the iconic line,
"It's morphin' time."
It is morphin' time. Interesting. Um, wouldn't have added that in there in terms of like the realism portion of it, because no one would actually say it's morphin' time unless you're really cheesy. Oh, so hold on. New train of thought. Power Rangers in itself did have this one cheat. You know, that makes call back to like this in itself is a callback to now the old Power Rangers to make it to have some type of cheesy aesthetic. You know what? That's a nice plug. I take it back. I take it back. It was a nice plug. It was a good good addition to the script just to add that little bit of nostalgia factor in there. It did make me want to watch like the old Transformers again, because those are the movies I grew up on that were originally about toys, that are based off of toys and action figures, and Transformers was really cool. I had Bumblebee action figures like till I was like 13. And I think this movie overall did bring back some good memories, and that's really all you can ask for in a good movie, in a positive review at least. Yes, there were a lot of a lot of things that I won't mention in this review that were very okay, and that the studio and the filmmaker the director could have done a lot better, but in itself enjoyable, and this is my positive review of it. Am I ever going to make a negative review? Who knows? Maybe if I watch a movie like that's bad enough, like if you guys comment like just some not like inappropriate movies, but just movies that are just bad that I don't even know about, let me know. I'm just going off of Rotten Tomatoes and other negative reviews and what other people tell me. So you as the audience have basic control of me. Yeah. Ooh. Dacker.